Well, let's see what's going on in here. Yeah, yummy coffee. I always get a cup of coffee in the morning. Yeah, Heatcraft refrigeration type system there. There you go. Never know when you need some gloves and sunglasses. Yeah, we've got some Johnson Control stats down here and here. Pressure switches. And let's see, condensate switches. And this is supposed to be pretty good stuff. Get a refrigerant leak. Gauges, screws, all sorts of sizes, and here's some hex magnetic nut driver bits, and some snips. There we go. Coil cleaning type of material. Connectors, wire type connectors. And wire, extension cords. Coil cleaners! Except for the one over here. That's actually a leak detector fluid. Micro leak detector solution. More coil cleaning. Ends, duct fan. And we have some adhesives right here. PVC cleaner and cement, primers, hand cleaner. That's a tool that we all need. First we need some mastic brushes. And, they're usually pretty cheap. Even the one here, it's got like an angle, long handle. Nobody wants to get that mastic on. PVC fittings. Oh, by the way, Daikin's inverter control mini split system. And we got copper fittings. Let's see if I can aim it right so you can see. All sorts of, that's one thing, good thing about this Baker Distributing. They got plenty of copper fittings to choose from. That is a very handy thing to have in stock. And some brass fittings. Alright, and then some motors. All sorts of motors here. Different voltages. So say you've got like a motor here, for example, a 208 230, and you even have some further down here that are even 460 volts, and a lot of the ones for a furnace are 115 volts. Different RPMs and horsepowers. and mounts. For example, that one there has a different kind of a mount for a belt-driven type of a blower motor. And here, get some galvanized fittings and some electrical supplies, along with some parts down here for Armaflex. And tapes of all kinds. Right here, even your regular duct, the old good old-fashioned duct tape. Got metal tape. Now this stuff right here, let me tell you, this butyl seal, this stuff sticks to every and anything, really. That is some awesome stuff. And then let's see. And you can buy your wire nuts by the jar, or even in kits like this right here. I'll turn this upside down so you can see. Different kind of an assortment of wire nuts, straps, wire type straps. That's something you gotta have. And MAP gas, propane. Now this here's the deal rack right here. If you need a tool or something, you gotta definitely take a look at this rack, because they always have some pretty good deals here on some tools. If you just happen to need what's in here, this is one of the less expensive places to get them, that's for sure. Got the 1997 rack and the $9.97 rack. Yeah. Oh gosh. And, what's this? It's kind of looks like a halfway decent, kind of a Klein type of a copy type screwdriver set. I mean, a Regal, that's the name. But almost look like Klein's with the handle and everything. Run caps. All different capacitance, voltages, and even the Turbo 200 down here. And here's the other brand of run capacitors down here. All sorts. Now this is kind of an interesting belt right here. For belt-driven type of motors. I've tried these before in the past and they've worked out great. You can make these to any size that you need them. I have them for 1/2 inch and for 5/8 size belts. All you do is add or subtract links on it. It's very easy to use, and it's very durable belt with that, surprisingly. Yeah. Little condensing unit down there. And kick starts. Little hard starts. And there's some thermostats. All sorts of different brand thermostats out there. It's pretty amazing how many there are. And of course, here's the old standby here, Honeywell. Yeah, different types of Honeywell thermostats, and then you've got Pro down here, and all the way to even White Rogers and Bestech. Here's dryers, all sorts of different size. Right here. And then you have, these are liquid line, most of these. And down here you have some suction line filter dryers. And these dryers here are for the shell type. So, you know, all you have to do is open up a shell. Let's see if I find one here, show you. And just simply replace the core in it. EMC repair type little kits. And of course everybody has fuses. Thermostat wire down here. And all kind of size thermostat wires. Mainly some of these here are for like mini splits. That goes between the outside unit and the inside unit. And then here you have like some controls. This is a universal heat pump defrost control board. It takes a little effort to install it or to retrofit the outdoor unit for it, but I think it's worth it. And it's furnace control modules. And of course, if you don't feel like buying the entire, say, heat kit for resistance heating, then you can buy these strings, and they're just really, if you want to restring a heat kit, you can do that. I mean, I've done it. It's not that difficult. It's just a little more of a effort. And here we've got some spray adhesive, and of course oil. Everybody's got to have oil, because you know, otherwise it's difficult to get them bolts undone. And more leak detector, and of course vacuum pump oil right here. That's something very important if you want to keep your vacuum pump working at a peak performance. That's, you know, make sure that you can get your system down below 500 microns. You definitely got to replace your oil in your vacuum pump often. And then compressor oil down here, and yeah, hoses. Now I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I only buy the type of hoses that do not kink. Okay, if it kinks, it stays on the shelf, because you know, I don't want to play around with hoses that are kinking up on me. So alright, of course them hoses on those manifold gauges don't last forever, so you can always pick up a replacement set. There's right here, these have the low loss fittings already on it, and these do not have low loss fittings. There seems to be two schools of thought on which to use. Personally, I like the low loss fittings, I mean, admittedly, they don't last as long as the ones that are not low loss, but I don't. You know what? Hey, it saves my fingers, so I like them. And then down here you got some decent tubing cutters. Here's a tubing cutter, for example. This will go from 1/8 of an inch to 1 1/8. Now this will get you by on just about all residential systems right here. I mean, this right here. Of course, to get some tight corners though, you're probably going to want to get yourself a small imp. But as far as being able to wrap, go ahead and cut just about any size tubing, this will do it right here. Service wrenches and replacement gauges. These have the liquid in them. I don't know. I've had the liquid filled before, and I'll tell you one thing. If you go ahead and replace the ones you have with these, you have to be really careful about tightening the gauge on the manifolds, because do not use your hands to tighten this. It says use a wrench to tighten from right here, because otherwise you will break this manifold, or excuse me, this liquid gauge, and you never want to drop these either. So sometimes it's best just to own an inexpensive set of gauges anyway, one that don't have any liquid filled gauges. You know, they seem to last forever, quite honestly. And yeah, here's for brazing. So you know, you definitely want yourself like a number 2 tip. Let me see, this is a 4 right here, and oh, here we go. This is a rosebud right here. This is number 15. That's like a must-have for unsweating things. But this is the bread and butter tip right here, the good old number 2 right here. If you got a number 2, okay, and a rosebud number 15, you can pretty much do whatever you gotta do, okay, in the residential area anyway. Now of course I've had one of these. These are flamethrowers, okay? I mean, really, it's number 28, I guess, but see how long that is? But I mean, I'll tell you what, it sucks up the gas too. I mean, you use this thing here, and you know, if you're just using an MC tank for acetylene and that, it will just eat it right up. It will be gone in no time. But it will do the job. It'll definitely unsweat anything. Here's some things here that are very handy that I have found. Of course, if you do a lot of metal duct, okay, right, these crimpers are right here. You almost got to have a pipe crimper, okay, and then you want to get yourself a hand seamer right here, okay, tongs rather, whatever you want to call them. This one here is kind of handy in a way because it's in an angle, whereas this one is just straight up and down. But I have a set of these and they get me by just about anything. As far as cutting metal and that, this here kind of works, but personally I like a set of double cuts the best. And let's see, oh yeah, a little hammer right here. If you're doing a lot of metal duct, this is very handy right here for tapping in your S drives. And let's see, screw, drill bits, little field piece things here. They're a display of things. And you know, for the money, good old Clink knife, duck knife here. I mean, really, this is an awesome knife. Really nice and cheap, and it does the job. And this is for like air acetylene air gas type of a system where you're simply using acetylene to braze. That's this here, the turbo torch. It actually works up to, I've seen it work pretty good up to about 1.1/8 tubing. Beyond that, it doesn't really work that well. And your basic tools here, more by Klein. They got CPS right here. Some refrigerant hoses and their gauges. Tube expanders right here, okay, for swedging. This will actually work really good. The price, well, I don't know. It's up to you if you want to use a tool to swedge, okay, or just use fittings, you know. By the way, here's a nice big tubing cutter that I really need to get myself for the larger tubing. And here we go, CPS micron gauge. That works pretty decent. And even Hilmar has products up here. Okay. Let's see, everybody's got 4-valve gauges and flare and swedge kits. I have this kit right here, by the way, the CPS flare kit, and let me tell you, it works awesome. I'm just saying. Now, I've never had the CPS. Oh, here we go. I never had the CPS electronic leak detector, but I've heard good things about it. And here, this is Sporlan. Sporlan allows you to build your own expansion valves and things. So they also have solenoid valves, all sorts of sizes. And all this stuff can be purchased at Baker Distributing. Thank you.